Yes, I'll start the presentation. So the topic given to me, or the topic that I wanted to discuss with you all, was the how students, how entrepreneurs can take the idea to the market, right? So what's idea? Idea is something that around which we want to build a business. If I ask, if this was a, I was in the auditorium with you guys, and I would have asked you, have you ever thought of starting a business? Some they would have been some yes, some no. But think, hasn't it occurred to you that when you see the Xerox machine in your campus and see the person in Xerox machine, you might have thought he earns a lot of money. Maybe I will start a Xerox machine. Or when you face some problem in the hostel mess, hostel food, you think that I could do a better job. So idea is not something that we have to look very deep into, right? It can come to us anyway. So idea almost everyone has, and what they want to do is build a market, build a product, build something real for the real customers to solve their main problems. So that's the idea we know, that's the market we know. But there's a gap, there's a bridge, there's a process in between this. That process is what we'll discuss today, and I hope you will be able to have some insights on how to take your idea to a business level, to a market level. Right? The first is this gap between idea and market. It's huge. But if you can execute it step by step, one by one, then definitely you can reach from idea to market. We will discuss this with three stages. The first stage is from idea to insight. The second, from insight to model, and then the third, from model to market. Right? So let's start with the first phase in this gap from idea to market. How you take your idea to insight. So idea sometimes can be very ambiguous. Okay, I want to do this. I have an idea of building a bike that runs on water. I have an idea that I will use AI for doing these things. I hope a lot of you are from computer science background, engineering background. So these things often happens in our mind. Okay, I will do something with AI. I will build a platform with AI. But we have to build that platform, we have to build that AI for someone. That someone is the customer. And that's where you take your insights. Okay? To start with, the first thing is stop waiting for the perfect time. Most of the times we think that okay, something would happen, a great idea I will have, and then I will start a business. So there is no thing for a perfect idea. Ideas, they evolve over time. They evolve as you execute them, as you learn from the customers. So if you know this the logo, almost all of you know, it is Instagram. So Instagram, it didn't start as a platform for sharing photos for social media. It started as a location sharing app where you, with a dozen of other features and emojis and filters, a lot of things were there. There were dozen features. But what the founders saw was people are not using the check-in feature. What they're mostly using are the filter features to enhance their photos, to showcase that the environment and everything. So slowly, from the insights of the founder, from the insights of the customer, what customers saw, they scrapped all the other features and built a whole platform only on sharing photos and filter photos. So that's how Instagram was born. It wasn't born just a photo sharing app, a social media app, but from insights of the customer, it developed into something else. Another class example is Airbnb. I hope that all of you must know this company. So if not, you must know Oyo in India. So Airbnb is a company that lets people rent their or give their homes, their stays to the travelers for stay. That was the model. So how it started? It didn't start like this. It started with two designers, started with two entrepreneurs who had a mattress, extra mattress, which they gave for rent. They had a room, they had extra mattress. If someone wanted to visit San Francisco, had some one night stay plan, they can use it. That was how it started. It was never a $1 billion company from the first day, but from a rent, from a mattress, air mattress, to the company of $100 billion company. This journey was done by customer insights, by learning from customers, their feedback, and then moving. So the concept here is don't wait for a perfect idea. Try to do with whatever you have, start building something, and then the customers will tell you what exactly you need. So what you have to avoid, don't fall in love with your idea. Entrepreneurs mostly, if they have built an AI platform that will solve this problem, without knowing if there is genuinely a problem. So don't fall in the love with the solution, with the idea. Try to understand the pain of the customers, what they are actually feeling, where you can solve them. It's all about the customer. Entrepreneurship is all about customers. How you can get insight from the customer, how you can solve the problems of the customer. So this brings us to the concept called value proposition canvas. In entrepreneurship in business classes, we discuss this concept a lot to understand the customers and the pain points of them. This canvas is a value proposition canvas. As you can see, there are two parts to it. The first part is the customer profile, right? The circle, that's the customer profile, and the other one, the square, is the value map. So what do you mean by value? Value is something that is beneficial for our customers. I might make a very good platform, I might make the best technology in the world, but if it is not of benefit to the customer, then it's of no value to the customer, and customer won't buy the product. So whenever you're building something, try to see what customers want, and this is what the value proposition canvas does. If you can see the customer profile, there are three parts to it: customer jobs, pains, and gains. So let's take the example of Uber. With Uber, what do customer wants to do? Does customer want to have an app through which they can book rides? Might be yes, might be no, might be a side something. But the main thing that customer wants to do was move from one place to another, go from point A to point B in a convenient manner. How it is done? That's based on the company, how they are giving the value. But the job of the customer is they want to go from one place to another. You have to understand what customers want, and in doing that, you have to understand their pains, what pains they are feeling, and then give them some gains, some extra that they were not expecting to get. Okay? So this is the customer profile that we call the jobs to do, the pains, and the gains. Now, the value map, why this is both at the same place? So the value map is a reflection of the customer profile. Whatever you have written in the customer profile, the job to do. For the job to do, what are the products and services you are making? So again, for the case of example Uber, the job to do was go from point A to point B. What is the product they have made? They have made Uber platform where you can book easy, convenient rides. What are the normal pains in booking a cab in regular manner? In the price we are not knowing. Okay, the driver might not be a good driver, well behaved one. So for those pains, you are creating some pain relievers, and then you will have some gains. For those gains, you get the gain creators. So this value proposition canvas gives you a dimension, gives you a way to think about your customers, know your customers. So this completes our first phase, that is idea to insight. You might have an idea, but use that idea to test on your customer, understand your customers, and get insights around which you can actually build a business. Now let's move to a second aspect. The second aspect is from insight to model. We have an insight. We have an insight that our customers want something. Our customers want this thing, and I can build this in a certain way. When you have that insight, then you start building a business model. So there's a difference between innovator and entrepreneur. Okay? Most of you engineering students, engineering guys, so you generally have this. Actually, I am also engineering guy. So we have this thing of focusing too much on the product, building the product, right? But there's a difference between innovator and an entrepreneur. Innovator builds innovative products, new products, whereas an entrepreneur builds business. You might have an excellent product, but how to build a business around it, that's the entrepreneurship part. So from the idea to insight part, you might have some insight of the product and you can build a product. But once that product is ready, once the insight of the product is ready, okay, I have spoken to my customers. My customers want this product. I can make this product. Now, what? Before making the product, let me look at the business aspects now. So as you can see in the business model canvas, there are 9 components, 9 specific components. The first one, that is in the middle one, is called value proposition. So value proposition, like I discussed, if you can see the previous slide, is the value map. So from the value map, you have written everything that my customers want. When you fill this, there will be certain features in the value map. I will give this, I will give this, I will give this. These will be my features. So the value proposition canvas gives you a product on paper. On paper, your product is ready. Then you take that value proposition, put it in the middle, in the value proposition aspect. You put it in the middle and look about the business components. From this value proposition that I have gone from the taken from the customers, how can I build the business experience? So you put the value proposition in the middle and look around. Okay, what are the other things I need to make? So let's quickly, for lack of time, I won't go deep into this, but let's quickly look into the different components. So the value proposition is in the middle. Then comes the customer segments. Okay. I think it's not visible. Let me just move this up. Yeah. The second one is customer segments. You are giving this value proposition for which customer segments. Once you have your value proposition and your customer segments, you have decided that this is my market, this is my product. I want to send my product to my customers. The third aspect is the channels. If you can see, I don't know if it's visible or not, but there is a truck sign somewhere. That's the channels. Okay? The channels tells you how can you take your customers, how can you take your value, the product that you have built to your customers. So channels is of different ways. It could be a D2C channel, a B2B channel, B2C channel, it could be awareness channels. Okay, there are different types of channels. Basically says how do you take your value proposition, how do you give your value proposition to your customers. And the fourth one is customer relationship. Once you have built the product, send it to the customer have taken the product, the next part is to maintain relationships with your customers. That's the fourth part. So this fourth part, out of this 9, this 4, value proposition, customer segments, channels, and the customer relationships. These form the desirability factor of your business. There is a framework called DVF. So these form the desirability factor. What do you mean by desirability? Desirability is if someone wants a product or not. If someone wants something, I desire to have this. I desire to score 100 marks out of 100. I desire to get the best job in the world, in my university. That's the desire. So, in aspect of business, desirability is if your customers want your product or not. That you will understand by these four components: value proposition, customer segments, customer relationships, and channels. Once that is done, then you move to the second point, that is the feasibility. Once you know that your customers want the product, then you focus on the other aspect of the business, that's feasibility. If my customer want it, but would I be able to build it? Do I have the resources? Do I have a team? Do I have the financial aspects? Do I have everything to build what they want? Then you understand the feasibility factors of the business. It's the key activities, key resources, and key partners. So if you're building an app, again, let's take the example of Uber. If Uber is building an app, then one of its activities is build a seamless app, build a seamless website. So for building that website, what they will need? They will need engineers like you. They will need human resource people. They will need finance people. They will need money. They will need offices. They will need fans, computers, tables. All this comes into resources. And resources are of four types. Resources are first it is a human capital, second financial, you can have an intellectual property, and then physical. So once that is done, then we move to key partners. As entrepreneurs, you might not have access to everything, you might not have all the capabilities, all the resources. What you do? You start getting partners. Build partners who can help you in the business. Again, with Uber, you can think once in this Uber app, what is one or two features that Uber has not built? That Uber has not built but is in their app. Think for a second. If you can answer it, keep it with yourself. Okay, because I don't think it's an interaction way. But just think a little. What is there in Uber that Uber has not built? In their app that Uber has not built? So I hope there's something in your mind. There are two aspects that Uber has not built. First is the map. The map in the Uber app is not built by Uber. It's built by Google Maps. They have partnered through agreement or something, and they are using it. Second, the payment methods. The payment methods is not made by Uber. It's made by PhonePe, Razorpay, other apps, other businesses. They have made partners with them. So there might be some activities that business might not do themselves, so they partner with others so that they can focus on the main aspect, on their core value proposition. This forms the feasibility. The last two components we have discussed 7 out of 9. Two are there. These two are cost structure and revenue streams. So suppose your people want it, your customers want the product, desirability is done. So feasibility, you are seeing that yes, the product I can build. But the third question that as entrepreneurs you have to ask, is it worth building? Would I get something out of it? Would it solve some of my objectives? Would I earn some money? Would my other motives will be met? That's called the viability factor. In business, we mostly focus on the profit aspects. Would I earn some money? Would my company generate revenue? So these two other remaining factors, that is cost structure and revenue stream, they form the viability factor of the business. DVF: desirability, viability, and feasibility. Okay? So from this business model canvas, from this the value proposition canvas, what you had a product on paper. Everything that is covered in the value proposition are the features of your product. So if you have made your value proposition in an appropriate way, it means that you have a product on paper. Your business model canvas, if you have built your business model canvas, it means that you have a business on paper. Value proposition canvas, product on paper, business model canvas, the business on paper. The next step is to make this model into a working prototype. Do something with it. It's still on paper. When you value and your business, everything is on paper. how to take that from paper and actually start building something. That brings us to our first stage. Let me just quickly see the time so that we don't over time. So we are running. Yeah. So the third step is from model to market. Right? We have discussed from idea, insight, then insights to models. Now, when your model is ready, when your business model is ready, when you know, okay, this is what I want, this is what my customers want, the desirability, feasibility, viability, you have to check all these. Then the next aspect is to take it from model to market. Now, to take any business from model to market, what you can do, there are two ways. One, you build the whole product from starting to end, all the features, step by step. You complete your whole product and then take it to the market, then take it to the customers. The problem with this is, suppose you have taken some insight from the customer, build your product around that, but still, your customers might not want, there might be a chance. Why? Because sometimes customers don't know actually what they want. They know only when you give them something, they test them, they use the product, and from the feedback they understand, okay, I want this, I want this. So most of the times the customer doesn't know what they want. There is a concept called jobs to be done concept. It says customer doesn't care about the product. Customer, as entrepreneurs, we might be very attached to our business, but customer, they don't care about the product. They don't care about the business. What they care is to solve their problem. There's an example, like we said, that customers, they don't want a drill machine. Customers, they don't want a drill machine. They want to make a hole in the wall. That hole, if you can make it through a pen, they will buy the pen. They don't care about drill machine. If you can give them something that through which they can make the hole just by their fingers, they will buy that product, not the drill machine. So customers don't care about the product. Customers care how their problem is solved. Right? So customers don't know what they want. They only know I want to solve this. They want to solve this problem. And that could be done by entrepreneur only by testing the product in every step. Because if you make the whole product and then go to the market, there's always a chance of failure and you have burnt all your resources. There is no going back. So there is a concept called MVP. That's minimum viable product. MVP. That's not the most valuable play in IPL or something. The minimum viable product. So it is a minimal version of your product with the most important features. It doesn't have all the features that you want to put in the product, but the features that are core to your business, that define your business. Without that feature, nothing is possible. There is nothing about your product. That is MVP, minimum viable product. It's the simplest version of the product that has enough features. It should have enough features to be usable by the customers such that you are able to get some feedback and then improve your MVP. Instead of building the whole product at once, what you do, build it step by step, one feature at a time, two features at a time, but enough features so that customers find it useful. Now, why this? First of all, it saves our resources. We are not putting all our resources at the same time. We can take feedback and make the planning accordingly. The second is, suppose you make 10 features in your product and you build all the 10 features. But during launching, 3 features of your product are not fully built. 7 are perfect. great, 7 are perfect. But the remaining 3 are almost done. There's some glitches here and there, almost done, but not perfect. What happens to the customer mentality? You promised them 10 features. They are using the 10 features. They face one problem, a feature that is not working. And what happens? Their whole trust is destroyed. Why? Because customer, they will, if there is one glitch, they won't care about the 7 good things in your product, the 7 features that are working fine. They will always focus on 3 features that are not working, and over time they will stop using it. Whereas, if you tell them our product has 5 features and fully built features, and whenever they use it, there is no glitches, nothing, they use it perfectly, they will be more satisfied than having 10 features, out of which 7 are working and 3 are not fully developed. So, minimum viable product helps us give enough features that are usable, and we can build the other features one by one later on by getting the field. This is called MVP. How do you go from model to market? You don't just build everything and go. Make a plan, we'll build some features, go to market, take their feedback, take their feedback. This is called MVP method. It's also called lean startup, lean methodology, where instead of going all in, you iterate the process one by one. So, this is a figure might have been showing on your screen. So my objective is to build a car, right? My objective is to build a car. What I'm doing, I'm giving some features one by one. I'm giving first the car, first the wheels, then the chassis and the wheel, then the frame, and then the car. So can you think once? Is it the right method of creating MVP? Just think about yourself, maybe a yes, no, whatever you think. Do you think this is the best way, or this is a way of creating MVP? I'll give you a second just to think about it. My question is this a way of creating MVP? Build step by step, over time, take feedback, then build. So would you say that this is the way to make MVP? Yes, no, just think in yourself, maybe sort out. So if you answer yes, or if you answer yes, then just think, what is my motive? My motive is to build a car. But by giving my customers first a wheel, would I be able to get any feedback on the performance of the car? On how my car would feel? The answer is no. Okay? So you're not giving them enough features. Like you said, there should be enough features. You just want to give some random features. Enough features that are usable for the product that you're building. So if you go this way, you won't get genuine feedback to improve your product, because you want to build a car one by one, step by step. So this is not the way to build a MVP. Now the second figure, is this the way to build an MVP? Each of them is working. You can take the feedback about each of them and then move. First build a tricycle, then a bicycle, then a motorcycle, then a car. So again, just think a little. Is this the way to build an MVP? Yes, no. Take 2 seconds. Try to answer to yourself. Is this the way to build an MVP? Okay. If your answer is no, very good. If your answer is yes, then think again, what's my motive? Think again, what is my motive? My motive is to build a car, right? So to build a car, if by making a tricycle, would I be able to get any feedback on the car? Right? No, I won't be able to get any feedback on the car. So again, this is not the way to build a MVP. Is this the way to build an MVP? The answer is yes. Why? Because it has all the basic functionalities. It has an engine, it has a chassis, it has a wheel, and by getting feedback slowly, you improve the performance. You're getting the initial feedback about the car. What's the main part of a car? The engine, the body. So you can start getting feedback and then start building the whole thing. So just don't give any features. When you're building a product, don't give some random features. Think, what are the features that are core to my business, that are most essential part of my business, and then only start building. This is MVP, minimum viable product. What's viable? Viable is working. What would work? Not just a minimum product, it's a minimum viable product. Something that would work to get fuel. Okay. So what happens? If you can just you're building a product, you don't know what are the features, you have not developed the whole app, but if there is just a landing page that you make. Nowadays, creating a landing page is just giving a prompt to GPT or other AI, and if you make a landing page. So if you create a landing page with the information about your product, with a small link notifying you, and people, if they click on that link, give their email ID, that means they are interested in your product. They are they are at least thinking about your product, buying your product. So instead of building the whole product, step by step. First, get the answers. They are aware of your product or not. If they want to have your product or not. So step by step, don't build the whole product before going to the market. That's for entrepreneurs. If you have a lot of resources, a lot of money, you have been funded, then that's not a problem. Even then, I would suggest to go step by step, MVP method. Again, another part of going from model to market is you have to continuously keep on evolving, continuously keep on improving and innovation. So whenever you are getting some feedback, always focus on iterative development. What do you mean by iteration? You guys should know better, maybe computer science students. Iteration is doing same thing again and again with some changes, some modification to improve the product. That's iteration. You have to continuously improve, continuously innovate, iterative problem. You should always be able to adapt. You shouldn't be too rigorous, too adamant that no, my product is best. This is what I will build. That's not going to happen. You have to have some agility. You have to have some adaptability to take the feedback of the customers and help yourself develop the product. Third, being able to collaborate with other aspects. If you are a business person and you don't have technical skills, then you should be able to make connections and work together with someone who has technical skills. If you have technical skills and you don't have managerial skills, then you have to be okay to work with someone who has managerial skills, who can build a business around the product that you have built. Always focus on customer. Yes. In the last 20-30 minutes, maybe I have taken the word customer at least 50 times. But that's the thing. Customer is the most important part of the business. You might make a beautiful product out of the world, but if your customers don't want it, it's of no use. And finally, sharing the knowledge with yourself, with your peer, and as entrepreneurs, when we start a business, we think of starting a business, we have a certain idea. We somehow bound ourselves in a cell. We don't talk about that to others, thinking, okay, they might steal my idea. They might steal my idea. I won't be able to do that. If someone is able to steal an idea of yours, it means they are more capable than you. And then it should be okay to do it. Okay with you. But if you are confident that what my idea is, I have the upper edge, I have some expertise in this, then you shouldn't be worried about sharing your idea. because what you are thinking you can build, other might not be thinking. You are just sharing the idea and think of building this. The mechanism behind that, the thought process behind that is totally yours. So if you are sharing your ideas, sharing your development, getting feedback from mentors and guides, faculties, anyone, that's going to help you. So these are some ways how you continuously focus on evolving even while MVP product. And finally, you have to be ready to pivot. What is pivot? Change direction. You have to always be ready. If you see your customer is signaling, your market signaling that the product is not working, you don't be adamant. You be ready. Okay, this is what my customer is saying. Let me see how I can change my direction, how I can move from one place to another, and so that it aligns with my customer, not just with myself. So these are the three stages: from idea to insight, from insight to model. From idea to insight, there are two things. First, don't be very attached to your idea. Don't wait for the perfect idea, and always focus on the customers through value proposition canvas. Once you have your value proposition canvas, once you know what's in your product or going to be in your product, it means your product on paper is ready. Once your product on paper is ready, you have to build a business on paper. That is business model canvas. Learn or understand the different aspects of the business around the value that you are getting. Once that is done, then you start moving to the market with MVP, minimum viable product. Be always open to innovations and always be open to adaptability and taking a pivot in case the customer, the market signals. So these are three stages. So the final takeaway from this session is, don't fall in love with your ideas, understand the customers, design the business model. Because as engineers, most of the time we are too focused on the product. We don't care about the business. But if you have a very good product and you're not thinking about the business model, you're not going to become a businessman. You have to always think about the business model. How can you gain customer? How can you make revenue? That always has to be behind your mind somewhere while building the product also. So don't always focus on the innovation, the product, also focus on the business aspects. That's very important. Next, build small things. Build testable solutions. Build it, take it to the market, test it, let the market tell you what they want to change, what they want to do. With this, I will end the session. I have kept some time for question answers. If you have any queries, anything that you would like to discuss, we can take it up. I hope it was something what we learned from this session. If you have any queries, I am very open and will be very happy to take some questions.